And our job has been basically getting as much of that and squeezing it onto the PSP without losing, you know, the pure kind of joy of the game. So it's been a bit like, you know, trying to squeeze into a pair of shorts 5 sizes too small for you. Yeah, that's been part of our mission. But you can see we've got Sackboy, all of his animes, all of his moves. You know, same level of kind of sophistication in the environments. And really, we've tried to really match it, you know, almost like shot for shot to what you can do on the PlayStation 3.
And what about bringing kind of new stuff to it as well? Are you kind of looking at advancing it in any way over what we saw on the PlayStation 3?
Well, our first kind of like, because obviously these days, you know, the first release of a game like Littlebigplanet, it's the beginning, isn't it? When you look at what's happened on Littlebigplanet on PS3 in the last 12 months, with you know, the Metal Gear Solid pack and the Paintinator pack and all those things coming out, we see this is like, it's just the first kind of like starting point. So for us, it's like, get a really brilliant play experience, get the control system, you know, working on the PSP, get all of the sharing so that like I can build a level, you can build a level, you know, we can have like the infrastructure mode working. One addition for us is, as well as having like a full infrastructure mode, which is really pushing the PSP to its limits, we're going to have ad hoc share. So if I build a level, I can just beam it across to you. And then like, so yeah, it's play, create, share. And then we get this first version out, and then start building on it and adding new stuff and looking to the future with you know, things like multiplayer and all that kind of functionality. But yeah, this is what we're doing for the first version.
So lots of questions already, but just tell us a little bit about this section that you're currently playing at the moment. Tell us about the theme of it and what the level features.
Well, this is the second level of the game, and this is set in Australia, our first theme. And the overall theme of the game is that Sackboy is he's on walkabout, he's on holiday, yeah, and in this theme he meets a new kind of like creator who tasks him with like finding 10 new level creators and so going around the world and he has to get them all in a big Brazilian carnival where each creator has his own float, and so it's basically kind of like Sackboy's holiday, yeah, and obviously because it's E3 and this is our demo level. We picked an early level that just shows off kind of all of the basic mechanics and how we've translated them into the game.
And so how long have you guys actually been working on the title? Can you say, because it looks, you know, it looks at a fairly advanced state right now.
Well, we've been on it about 11 months.
Right.
So it's been you know, yeah, a fast turnaround project for us.
But before the original game was finished, you guys were on this.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. You know, the game is a massive technical feat on the PlayStation 3. Multiplayer was a big feature on it, sharing levels. That's all going to be on the PlayStation Portable.
For us, we've got Play, Create, Share, this version, and then moving forward, we're going to look at multiplayer, and then functionality that isn't even on the PlayStation 3 version at the moment. But we wanted to, our view was with the first one, you know, we wanted to really like hit the graphic kind of benchmark and create the core Littlebigplanet experience on PSP, and you know, within the time frame, multiplayer doesn't quite fit in right now, but it's in the plan moving forward.
In terms of sharing, you can share your levels on the internet. You can share them locally. Yeah. And you could kind of create your own E3 level if you wanted.
Yes, absolutely.
Themes and then send it across to you.
Yeah.
And we've got a great question here from Joe Daniel in Bristol. He says, what interaction will the game have with the PlayStation 3 game?
Well, we're obviously like one of our kind of real long-term goals would be to like have that if you built anything on the PSP, you could get it onto the PS3. But obviously, the actual kind of fundamental architecture of the two machines is so different. For this moment in time, you know, we can't do that, unfortunately. So like, what we're looking at is, I don't know if you remember like Crosstalk on Resistance, where Resistance Retribution and Resistance 2, they shared functionality, yeah. And so we're looking at that at the moment. So the idea is that at day one, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I wouldn't describe it like that, but yeah. So like, you know, day one, if you buy this and you've got the PlayStation 3, you know, different kind of themes and goodies will be unlocked on either side. So that's our starting point, and then moving forward from that.
Right, so it's all levels basically created on the PlayStation on the PSP will be kind of exclusive to that platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another really good question from Andrew Davis in Glasgow. I reviewed the game and I did find the single player in the PlayStation 3 quite short. Is this going to be around the same sort of time frame? Are you looking to expand upon it?
10 hours at the minute.
10 hours.
Yeah.
It's always a bit difficult because it takes different people amount of times. But
absolutely. But one of our things as well was because like we're dealing with now there's like nearly 1 million levels of user-created levels of the PlayStation 3 version. One of like Gareth's the big challenges is creating like 39 levels that beat the standard that everyone can set. Yeah. So I think like our levels are kind of like probably fractionally more kind of like puzzle based and like maybe fractionally kind of like tougher to get through, a bit more a challenge. But yeah, we're looking at 10 hours, aren't we, at the minute? Yeah.
I'm just looking at this level out of the corner now. My favourite levels were the ones where you're being chased. This was looking like a surfing-based one you've done here.
Yeah, this is our other Australian level. Right. It's Australian surfing. So you're on the board. The board's like a bucking bronco. You have to collect all the score bubbles, stay on the board, and if you don't collect enough bubbles, the great white comes and bang. Do you know what I mean? And that's another thing we wanted to do. Is like really have some really cool big bosses and really kind of push what you can build to the limit. We've got the Great White and we've got Kong in a later level. Yep. So some really big complex bosses in the game as well.
So you mentioned Australia. I know a lot of people will be happy, myself included, that you've put that in as a theme. Any other themes that you can talk about at this point in time?
We've got Australia, China, Persia. Those are the kind of main ones, and we want to keep a couple secret for later in the year.
Sure. And the same sort of customization of the home, of your space, when you're looking at the planets. Is that have you kind of nailed down the main menu? Look,
we're going to have. We've actually got an extra planet to kind of because like obviously the PSP is not always connected. You've got to be in a Wi-Fi hotspot. So we've got like a community planet as well as the conventional planet where you can download and store a number of levels. And our pod is for dressing Sackboy. So we don't have the same pod that you've got in the PS3. We just don't have enough memory on this device to run it all. But we've got full costumes, full stickers, all of the Create functionality. So you'll be able to like, we've got some videos, haven't we, that we're showing at E3 of all of the costume swap, and we're building unique new costumes. And so really we've got everything that you've got on PS3, yeah.
So is there any kind of possibility of having, you were able to put your face on in the game with if you had the PlayStation Eye camera? Is there any features like that on the PlayStation Portable using the camera?
We're going to be looking at the camera after the initial first release, because obviously there is the separate PSP camera, and that's another investigation for us. Yeah, definitely.
Let's throw open to another question. Nicholas Ridewing from Sweden says, "Will there be any downloadable content? Are you guys planning any downloadable content after the game's release?"
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. We're going to have the full infrastructure that exists on the PlayStation 3 version. So yeah, there'll be costumes, level packs, and like we want to build the same community with our players, and so we'll be listening to see what they want and building stuff to do that. So yeah, absolutely, yeah, we've got an unlimited time frame to build upon this game when it releases. Do you know what I mean? Definitely.
Great stuff. Luke Wrightson from Southampton says, "Can you still move Sackboy's arms and head and kind of move him around and manipulate him?" That was a great perk for me when playing the game on the PlayStation 3. Says.
We've got, well, obviously, we're working within certain kind of limits here. So we've only got one analog stick. So we've got control on the left analog, and we're looking at the emotes. That'll be done on the digital. But so we won't be able to do the actual analog movement. We just don't have the stick for it. Create a second stick, and we'll do it. So maybe in the future, but we'll have emotes on the D-pad here, won't we?
Yeah. So basically, what we'll have is the facial expressions on the D-pad, and then when you hold down the left shoulder button, depending on the facial expression that you've currently got, Sackboy will play an anim associated with that. So that could be a salute or a wave or anything really.
So you're looking at some different movements for Sackboy over the PS3 version. Okay, and tell us a little bit more how the other controls work, because you're obviously a bit more confined on this console.
Can you take us through the controls?
Yeah, I mean the controls pretty much mirror what you would have experienced on the PS3 version. The analog nub is used to move Sackboy to the left and to the right and in and out of the screen, like so. The X button is obviously your jump button, and the longer you hold it down for, the further Sackboy will jump. Oh, just killed that scorpion. That nearly caught me off guard. The square button will bring up your pop-it, which is where you access things like your stickers and the retry option, all that kind of functionality.
It's going to blow Sackboy up as well.
Oh yeah, you're Sackboy.
Here he goes.
Fantastic. One of my favourite things about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, actually, one more question. We've got. Oh, sorry, I just lost the email here. Just tell us how many maps will this have? Will they have about as many as the original game?
Yes, we've got 7 themes, 3 big levels per theme, 2 mini games per theme. So overall, yeah, 39 levels we're doing, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean that adds up to 35.
35.
But we've got some bonus stuff tucked away in there as well. So.
Yeah, oh yeah, must be 35 official levels and some secret stuff.
And so I see the bubble element. Collecting the bubbles is still a big part of the PSP version. What's the challenge going to be? Because it's not going to be multiplayer, is it? Are you going to be able to unlock stuff if you find a lot more of the blue orbs?
Yeah, we've got like costumes and stuff to unlock, costumes that you get throughout the level.